Hi everyone, it's Amy here from Amy's Haven. I'd like to share with you today what I keep in my mother's morning basket. This is not the morning basket that I use with the children. This is a basket that is usually all my own. I tend to wake up at least an hour earlier than the children so that I can just have some time on my own. I'm a single parent and it's my only quiet time during the day, so I really enjoy it and helps me take some time for prayer and reading, and it really helps me set my intention for the entire day. Now, I used to be a morning person before I had kids, and I used to get up a bit early and read a book before I went to work. And I really missed it once I started having children and found myself a bit groggy in the mornings. And I would try to sleep in as long as I could. But when I started childminding and especially home educating, I really found it made a huge difference for me if I woke up a bit earlier like I used to and had a hot drink nice and slowly, enjoy my time, take my time before I need to rush around getting dressed and things. So I have this basket. I usually keep it by my bed, although I can move it around the house quite easily if I need to. I pop a few things in there. It's not necessarily something really prescriptive. I sometimes have a novel in there, sometimes have, all sorts of things in there. I'm going to show you a few of things that I have in there typically. Okay, so I always have a journal. I write in a journal quite regularly. I don't keep them. It's not something that these are not fancy bullet journals full of artwork or anything that I need to keep at all. They're just for me to write down stuff and think through what I need to do for the day, perhaps. I also have, I guess I have a few types of journals. I have this one. This is a diary, and I got this year. I'm going to try this out. It has church artwork in it for some inspiration. I'm taking a course and it has some church artwork in it, so that's giving me some inspiration. I use this actually not to keep my appointments, but to write down favorite quotes and things like that as I find them in my devotionals and my other reading. So I sometimes do that with colored markers or pencils, and sometimes just write down just really some inspiring things. I'm not sure what I'll do with that yet, but I think that's one I'm going to have to hold on to. So I keep some pens, sometimes colored pens. I sometimes just grab my colored pencils, which are nearby, in case I feel like being creative. I also have a book light, which doubles as a bookmark, just in case I'm doing this quite early and I don't want a bright light, or quite late, because I also use this morning basket in the evening sometimes. I have another kind of journal. I have one of these travel notebooks that you can insert things in. So sometimes I might have a very special notebook if it's a special time of year. I mean, at the moment, some of the, sometimes they're just shopping lists and things. But so that's another kind of notebook. And sometimes I have some of my sketch pads in there. They're elsewhere at the moment. So the other thing I always have. So I always have journal, if not 3. And I always have this book, which I really love, called Scriptural Meditations. And it's several versions of the Rosary. I have some Rosary apps on my phone as well. They can be really handy, but sometimes I don't want to listen to somebody. I want to be, saying the things myself. This one has some meditations that go along with each of the prayers, and it's really quite a good book. And I have some rosaries. So I have a nice little bag, and I have some rosaries in there, just a couple of my favorites. I have them in various places of the house. So then I have some other books and I have loads of books, and they swap in and out. At the moment, I'm finishing up this book by Carol Tuttle, and it's called It's Just My Nature, and I'm loving this book. She talks about the Dressing Your Truth system. She has several websites because she has several different books, and my favorite, absolute favorite, my new favorite parenting book is called The Child Whisperer, and it is amazing. It's a game changer, and I really appreciate her views on things as a spiritual healer, as an energy healer. I can really resonate with what she's writing. She talks basically a lot about color therapy and her Dressing Your Truth system, and I think it's amazing. So I don't keep books unless I'm going to read it again. So I have very few reference books. Most books come into my home and I enjoy them, and then I pass them on to other people. So even though I love this book, I am planning to do just that. So I'm just wanting to go over a few more notes and ideas from it, and then I'll be passing that on. Don't worry, I have plenty of books on the shelf to replace it. And I also have, this is another book that I've actually finished reading. I just want to get like a few notes from it, and then I'll be passing this on as well. And it's called The Grumble-Free Year by Tricia Goyer. It's 12 months, 11 family members, and 1 impossible goal. And that was really good. It's full of ideas and hints. Basically, they tried to have a grumble-free year. So you can read about how they did that. So I'll be passing that on to somebody as well. And I have quite a few books, some devotionals and things like that I use at different seasons for Advent or Lent or different times of the year. I really like my Catholic Woman's Devotional. If you have any recommendations, please drop them in the comments below. So I swap things in and out just based on my mood, and it's not a to-do list. It's not saying I have to do this. It's just a little basket, and it's just I like to think of it as a welcome basket. It welcomes me in the morning, and I get to pick a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so that I can start my day right. Now, the other important thing that I have in the basket, or not in the basket, but by my bed, is my phone, because I use the app. So I use as I said, the U version. I use Rosary app. I use the Divine Office app sometimes. I go through periods where I might use the Rosary for months at a time, and then sometimes use the Divine Office for months at a time, and then sometimes use those a bit less often and use something else. Use some other things. So I have a wide variety of things. I don't try to be too prescriptive about it, but I do find that if I spend some time in the morning in prayer, just connecting to Spirit, it really sets me up for the day. So I will be back with some more videos about my morning basket throughout the year if I make some changes and have some good ideas to share, and I'd love to hear yours. Talk to you soon.